Welcome to the first episode of University Speaks, the show by students for students. I'm Vanessa Lauren, and with me is my co-host and real-life partner,
Devin Verissimo. We're excited to both entertain you and inform you on a variety of topics like sports, entertainment, politics, community events, and more. It's going to be fun, and we hope that you'll continue to join us as well as engage with us online, and be sure to give us your feedback to let us know what you'd like to see.
Absolutely. We've got a great show planned for you today. Not only will you get to hear from coaches and students, but we have some history, music, and movie recommendations to get you into the fall spirit. Did you know UNLV has had more than 120,000 graduates over the last 63 years? But what have they been up to since graduation? That's the question we are answering in a segment we're calling Where Are They Now? I met up with Nevada Broadcasters Hall of Famer and radio and TV personality JC Fernandez to talk about his journey since turning the tassel and play a little UNLV trivia. Check it out. When is the last time you were actually on campus?
Within a couple years. Been back here for like speaking engagements, but I graduated in 1997.
Do you feel like you have like an assignment missing?
I do. I'm having a panic attack. First off, I want to go see the Sigma Chi's at the Student Union. And secondly, I feel naked without my backpack.
Okay, let's start at the beginning. So walk us through where are you from and what made you pick UNLV?
I am from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and I went to community college for 2 years. I was studying hotel and working at a hotel. I wanted to get out and see the country. So I went to the library. This was before internet. Got a book out about colleges and looked at the best hotel colleges in the country. And UNLV was one of the top schools. So I applied and I was accepted on academic probation.
What?
Yeah, I didn't have the best grades in community college.
But you did it anyway. Came to UNLV, your major was?
Hospitality, hotel administration.
What do you do now?
I host the morning show on Mix 94.1 with Mercedes in the morning. And then I'm also a host on Las Vegas Now on Channel 8, 8 News Now.
That's a big jump. So how did that happen?
You know, I came out here and I had this passion for radio. So after I graduated, I went back to school for communications. I ended up getting a job at Mix that summer. I remember telling my parents, I'm like, hey, I'm gonna give this radio thing 1 year, and 23 years later.
That kind of ties back to UNLV though, because what is one of the things you did while you were here as a student?
Yes, 1996, I was a DJ on 91.5 KUNV. I hosted Jazz Progressions.
And I think we actually have some of that audio.
You're listening to Jazz Progressions, and my name is JC Fernandez. We're going to start the show off here with some Norman Brown.
Do you ever listen back to it? Do you cringe?
I do. No, I mean, I was proud because I knew nothing about radio. The funny story was in the 90s, alternative music was the big thing on KUNV. So I went to this seminar and the program director says, okay, what do you want to do? And everyone, alternative, alternative, alternative. I just wanted to be on the radio. So I'm the last person in the room. He goes, what do you want to do? And I look at him and I go, I want to do jazz. And I was on the air within 3 weeks.
We're going to take you back. We're going to take a peek in. What do you think?
Where are we? This is not 91.5 KUNV. This is unbelievable. So when I was on the air back in 1996, the studios were in the Student Union. We had CDs. There were still records up there. It was awesome, but it was a dark, dingy, old studio, and I loved it. It was so cool.
What was your favorite food?
I'm gonna rattle off some places. You tell me if they're still here. Okay, Tom and Jerry's.
No.
Nothing. Moose McGillicuddy's. No. Nothing. Okay, no. Mr. Good Sense.
No, what are these things?
These were all the hangouts back in then. I swear to God.
Mrs. Fields and Mr. This. You're just throwing things out there. You get to do amazing things. You get to do red carpets. You get to do all this fun stuff. What advice would you give to a student who want to be in your shoes one day?
Well, a couple things. First off, why not you? There are a couple times in my career where an opportunity presented itself to me and I felt like, oh, I'm not ready. Why not me? Why not you? And the other thing is the best ability is availability. So once you get that foot in the door, say yes to everything.
I love that. Okay, you quizzed me a little bit about places around UNLV.
Yes,
I failed. But I'm going to do a little UNLV trivia game with you. Are you ready? Okay, what year did UNLV first hold classes?
They first held classes in 1958.
1957. You're so close. How many presidents has UNLV had?
7.
16. Okay, last question for you. Ready?
Yeah.
How many UNLV graduates have there been?
Total? 475,683.
Woo! That'd be a lot of tuition dollars. No, 121,289.
Oh, I overshot it. I should have did Price is Right and said 1.
Thank you so much for coming back.
Thank you.
How's it feel to be on campus?
It feels great. And I think it's in the rules. If you're once an employee of KUNV, you're always an employee. So I'm just going to jump on here. No, I'm just going to jump on. Hey guys, JC here. Hope you don't mind me jumping in here. Sean, you guys play Shawn Mendes?
Well, that's progressive jazz. Such a fun interview and such a fun guy. I did look up all those places he mentioned, and as you saw, None of them are still open. But be sure to catch JC's work by tuning in weekday mornings on Mix 94.1 and on Las Vegas Now on Channel 8 in the afternoons.
Whether it's a midterm or a doubleheader, student athletes from CSN face the same challenges as UNLV student athletes, but they have the support from the motivated leaders who stand beside them in the wake of adversity. Nowadays, that adversity is trying to build a socially distanced camaraderie while they prepare for their rescheduled seasons to start. From one UNLV alumni to the next, I caught up with the College of Southern Nevada head baseball coach and UNLV Hall of Famer Nick Garitano, as well as the athletic director Dexter Irvin, to see if they would shed some light on what it means to them to lead student athletes during these current challenges.
Well, you know, I've been doing this 25 years. I started as a high school physical education teacher and a coach, and I knew my sophomore year in high school I wanted to be a coach. Been at this job that's starting my 11th year at the College of Southern Nevada. The reason I got into this business years ago was to be able to stay involved in the game, to stay involved in sports in a competitive manner, but most importantly, have an opportunity to impact the young lives of our next generation. But you know, it's something for the kids, in my opinion, that's very important, and it's something that I take pride in every morning when I wake up, is knowing that I'm going to go and try and have an impact on 39 to 40 kids' lives every day in the fall. And then once the spring gets here, the roster gets trimmed down to about 30, and have an impact to try and represent the College of Southern Nevada with our student athletes in the right way.
Finally, he touched on the importance of his role amongst young lives and who helps him remain successful.
It's especially important in today's world of what we're going through in this world today, of being a bona fide leader, and these kids having somebody that they know that for those 3 hours a day they could come in and know that they have a sense of pride at the leadership position. You know, we're all trickle-down effect from Dexter Irvin, our athletic director, who does a phenomenal job.
Now in his 6th year at CSN, Dexter Irvin has only invited more students into the athletics program by adding volleyball, men's and women's soccer, cheer and dance, as well as the inclusion of men's and women's basketball. All of these sports will now accompany baseball and softball in the spring due to the COVID-19 pandemic. But for Dexter, his role still doesn't feel like work at all.
I haven't worked 5 days in 45 years, Devin, and so when you're passionate about it, when you enjoy it, it's really not work. I've always known what I've wanted to do. Being involved in athletics is a pleasure, it's an honor, and so being able to work with our coaches and our students. So it's really not work in that sense to me, but I come with the thought of how can we make this world better for that individual student? You know, how can we make their lives better? How can we help them be accountable, responsible adults? And that's part of what athletics is to make sure that they understand that there's choices and consequences, and there's all sorts of things that come with being a student athlete, that it's a privilege, it's not a right, and that as you work towards success, that something happens to you, that you achieve things because of sacrifice and the hard work, and that's what builds self-esteem, not somebody giving you a trophy just because you showed up.
Before he started his 3rd meeting of the day, he shared with me how he and his department will continue to move forward as a team during these unusual times.
We really try and keep our focus, keep a smile on our face, love in our hearts, maintain a good posture, and understand that this is about a team. It's not about me, or it's not about each of our coaches. It's really about what we can all do together to achieve something that none of us can do as individuals.
We want to wish UNLV alumni and Hall of Fame kicker Nick Garitano, athletic director Dexter Irvin, and the student athletes at CSN nothing but the best in their upcoming seasons. Luckily, it was recently announced that UNLV football is back on track for 2020. We hope to see other sports teams from different colleges and universities back in the swing of things soon. Did you know JC and Coach Garitano have something in common?
They do? What? Both being awesome and being on our show?
Well, that and...
Oh, look at that.
They know each other. I found this on Instagram, and I wonder if they remember this as well.
What a beautiful picture of all of them together. Wow, what a small world. Well, as you guys saw, JC and I were wearing masks on campus, and CSN has pushed their sports season to the fall. COVID-19 has affected the college community in more ways than one, and international students are at the top of that list. Katora has more.
Over the past few months, the world has been forced to slow down amid the COVID-19 pandemic. Students, workers, and expats from all over the world had to return to their home countries to quarantine while taking care of their friends and families. I spoke to international student and hospitality major Yadira Gutierrez, who has had to temporarily settle down in Los Angeles, about how the shutdown impacted her. This is Yadira.
Hello, my name is Yadira Zenaida Gutierrez Castillo. I am an international student in the University of Nevada, Las Vegas. I am from Mexico City, and yeah, I'm really excited to be here with you today. My major is hospitality management, and I am doing a concentration in meeting and events.
And when do you expect to graduate?
I am expecting to graduate May 2021. This is my senior year.
I wondered, what was her initial response to being told not to come back to campus after spring break?
Well, it's actually a funny story. That week of spring break, I came to the state of California to visit my brother. He lives here. He's also an international student. And I was, expecting to have fun with my spring break. But that same week, everything closed. And yeah, since then, I've been here in California. I only went twice to Vegas to pick up some of my belongings. And yeah.
Even though you are an international student, you aren't even at home. You're just in the next state over. Were you staying in the dorms here?
I was living in the degree. It's not part of the school, but it's definitely just for students of UNLV. So it feels like dorms.
So did you have any trouble ending your lease with the degree, or were they pretty easygoing about it?
Not easy at all. Actually, I'm still trying to find a solution to the leasing agreement.
Do you plan on coming back to Las Vegas?
I am, yeah. As I mentioned before, this is my senior year. I wish I could spend this last months over there, learning and, building connections with the professors, with the professionals. It's definitely not the same experience to be finishing school online because I don't have that, connection with others.
I wondered, what did Yadira's family feel about her being here instead of back home?
My family feels good about me staying in the United States because my government has been insufficient in its response to the coronavirus. There's been a lot of unreliable and unclear information, and overall a lot of inconsistency on what health recommendations and hygiene measures we as citizens should be following or not.
Unfortunately, Yadira had to go, but I thanked her for chatting with me and told her we couldn't wait to see what next semester had in store. It was a pleasure to speak with Yadira, and I know she can't wait to be back on campus. Next, Alexa is going to introduce us to a slice of country life, just in time for fall.
Hopefully, with cooler weather coming soon, outdoor fall activities are on nearly everyone's list. And with the cutest ponies I've ever seen, the Las Vegas farm offers a great opportunity to feel festive, all while supporting a good cause. Chickens and roosters are up early here at the Las Vegas Farm and Barn Buddies Rescue. The farm is home to cows, pigs, sheep, and many more animals that were once neglected or abused. And as cute as they can be, taking care of these animals and running the facility can get costly. So the farm relies on volunteers and as much community support as they can get.
Our feed bill alone is $7,000 a month. So we need all of the income from our visitors and from the community support, plus our farmers market to be able to care for all of these animals and all of their needs.
Volunteers are also able to donate their food and baked goods to be sold at the farmers market.
So I do some baking for them, and I donate the pies and the breads and stuff, and so it's like every time we sell a pie, we feed a horse for a day, and that just feeds my soul.
Also, with autumn just around the corner, the Las Vegas Farm is preparing for this year's Fall Festival, running the last 3 weekends of October, starting on the 10th. However, this year's Fall Festival will look a little different, though, with protocols in place to keep everyone safe from COVID-19.
We're going to probably allow one family at a time into our maze. We're going to be running our little train, but maybe every other seat or one child per seat. We'll be doing the appropriate protocol to keep everyone safe. And we hope that everybody will show up and support us and support these animals.
The Las Vegas Farm is open from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. every weekend, so be sure to drop by for some fresh fruits and veggies and see your favorite barn buddies. And if you are interested in volunteering, donating, or just finding out more information, you can visit their website at thelasvegasfarm.com.
What an awesome way to get into the community. Speaking of community, what a better way to support businesses and restaurants opening up with a breakfast staple. Our de jour team recently celebrated National Pancake Day at Baby Stacks Cafe. Grab your syrup because this is going to be a sweet one. Take a look.
Hey everyone, we're out here in Summerlin checking out Baby Stacks Cafe to see how one local business puts a spin on not so traditional pancakes. Let's go check it out. Pancakes, also known as hotcakes, griddle cakes, or flapjacks, whatever you want to call them, have been hitting breakfast plates since prehistoric times. Even though flavors and ingredients may vary throughout the world, this breakfast staple hits like no other.
I believe the pancakes here really make an impact on the customers. It's very filling, it's really good. So an experience to a lot of the customers. They love coming back. They just hit your stomach the right way and finish you off. And then you might want to take a nap right after.
Local places like Baby Stacks really turn up the griddle with a wide variety of flavors that keeps guests coming back for more.
We try to cater to the customers about what kind of food they want to come eat.
I asked Baby Stacks Cafe what is their most popular pancake, and the answer was
red velvet pancakes. Red velvet pancakes is a top seller. It's if you ever had the cake, it's really good. And if you have our pancakes, it's just even better.
Wow, I am so full. Those were the best pancakes I've ever had. Thanks Baby Stacks Cafe for showing me what real pancakes taste like. I'm Brianna, this is Du Jour, where every day is a holiday. Happy National Pancake Day.
If you want to keep up to date with Du Jour, make sure to like their Facebook page at UNLV Du Jour, where every day is a holiday.
From one celebration to another, not only are we recognizing National Pancake Day, which looked amazing, we're honoring Nevada Day. Growing up here, I always thought everyone got Halloween off as a holiday. It wasn't until later that I learned that's not the case. Nevada is special because we celebrate one extra holiday in October, the day we became a state. So, in honor of Nevada Day, here are some fun facts about our state. Nevada became the 36th state on October 31st, 1864. This is the reason we celebrate it on the last Friday in October every year. Before that, the land was inhabited by the Paiute, Shoshone, and Washoe tribes, all of which still live in Nevada today. The word Nevada comes from the Spanish meaning snow-covered, named after the Sierra Mountains, even though we're the driest state in the United States. The building of the Hoover Dam was the largest work project in the United States, and it's the reason we have hard hats today. They were invented for the construction workers. Nevada was the first state to ratify the 15th Amendment of the Constitution. For those unfamiliar, the 15th Amendment gave African-American men the right to vote in 1869. We were also the second state added to the Union during the Civil War, which is where the nickname Battle-Born State originated from. Speaking of voting, did you know Nevada has voted for the winning presidential candidate 96% of the time since 1912? Don't forget to register to vote. It counts, especially here. Well, we may be nicknamed the Silver State, but Nevada is the 4th largest producer of gold worldwide, and we're the #1 producer in the United States. And lastly, some fast fun facts for you. We're the 7th largest state, our capital is Carson City, and our population holds nearly 3 million people. And there you have it, your Nevada Day fun facts that if you didn't know, now you know. Devin, over to you.
Listen up, students. Along with Nevada Day at the end of this month, we are also celebrating Halloween. I have compiled a list of movies for the upcoming spooky season. I broke down 20 Halloween-friendly movies into classes from freshman to senior. Now, I know not everyone has time to see all these movies, so as we go through it, I'll let you know which ones you must see right now and which ones you can skip until later. For now, here we go. First up, the freshman class. Start with It's the Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown. Next up, we got Hocus Pocus, A Nightmare Before Christmas, Halloween Town, and Monster House. Out of these, I would definitely say you got to watch, at least you should have watched all these by now, given it's a freshman class, but you definitely should have seen or go watch It's a Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown, and Halloween Town as well. For the sophomores, there's Halloween, the original one, The Sixth Sense, The Ring, Paranormal Activity, and The Conjuring. For the juniors, we have The Blair Witch Project, It, The Witch, A Quiet Place, and Brightburn. Definitely watch Brightburn. And of course The Blair Witch as well, and maybe skip the other ones until later. And now for the seniors, this is it. You made it to this point, you got to see all of these. This list includes The Exorcist, Scream, Get Out, Hereditary, and Midsommar. All of these movies are available on Amazon Prime, Disney Plus, Hulu, and Netflix. We will put the full list with their corresponding streaming service on social media, and let us know what you think in the comments. If you're not a movie person and prefer rocking a playlist, Katora has a list of jams you should definitely check out.
If music is more your speed, these are some songs your playlist needs. First on my list is Experience by Victoria Monet. Victoria, a Grammy-nominated writer and songstress, lends her buttery vocals over this disco anthem about wishing the best for an ex after the relationship inevitably fails. It's a kind of songs that sweep you into an up-tempo beat and makes you want to break out your roller skates. Too happy to realize that you've left your heartache in the dust. 2, Jungle by Tash Sultana. A song that I'll never take out of my regular rotation, Jungle sits you down on a beach in the middle of the summer and gives you a chance to appreciate Sultana's fantastic instrumentals. It's the dessert after a Brussels sprouts dinner and the warmth of a fireplace after being out in the cold. It sounds so good that I still don't know what she's saying. Let me play it again. 3, Ungodly Hour by Chloe and Halle. Though their second album is flush with near-perfect production and top-tier vocals, the title track is in a league of its own. A song that in today's landscape of trap beats and mumbled lyrics brings you back to the timeless songs of Brandy, Aaliyah, and Destiny's Child. You'll probably gloss over the lyrics about waiting for a loved one to call at any hour and find yourself bopping to this as you get ready for a girls' night out. 4, Alone with Lolo Zouai. While major pop figures were putting out tracks this year about being stuck in quarantine with loved ones, this emerging R&B singer breathes a sigh of relief at the realization that she'd rather be companionless than stuck with a lover who isn't what she wants. Zouai has spent the past few years continuously putting out music chock full of clever earworms and R&B pop hybrid beats that somehow make their own place in a rapidly evolving music world. And finally, Time by Audrey Nuna. Audrey, an up-and-coming Korean-American musician, isn't done reminding us that she can't be pinned down. She stepped into the Jordans of an Atlanta rapper to glide her way through trappy waters, and now she takes on the persona of a singer in a smoky jazz club, set on reminding you that the world is hers to take. And at the age of 20, I'm sure she's only getting started. That's all the music I have for you this time, folks. Back to our hosts, Devin and Vanessa.
Before we go, I think we can all agree that this year has been extremely different. It's been especially challenging for our professors. They've put in so much time and dedication to make sure we're doing our best during this crazy time. Did a professor or faculty member pop into mind for you? Well, we'd love to hear it. Mention us on social media at UNIV Speaks, UNLV, on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, and use the hashtag props to the profs to shout them out.
Well, that's our show.
That's our show. What a wide array of topics, huh?
It was definitely fun, and I really liked your Nevada facts. That was very cool.
Thank you. Did you learn something?
I did.
All right.
What was your favorite part?
I like the community service part. I love being born and raised here. I really like seeing the community doing different things, so I think Alexa slayed that, and I love it. Well, we want to thank KUNV and UNLV TV for helping us produce all this content.
Yes, and speaking of producing, shout out to our producer, Triana, holding it down in the booth. We see you.
Yeah, our whole production team. We definitely also want to remind you to follow us on social media. Again, it's UNIV Speaks, UNLV, on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. You'll find more content there, and you can interact with us, get to know us, tell us more stuff what you'd like to see.
Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Devin Verissimo.
And I'm Vanessa Lauren, and this has been University Speaks, the show for students, by students. See you next time.